we are paying attention here at Unity. We are paying attention to what's going on in this world, like other Unity churches across the nation. Okay, and so this is going to be a quick public service announcement. The board and I, we met yesterday, and we made some decisions about what we're just going to do here in the next few weeks, because people have been calling me to ask, are you going to be open on Sunday? What are we doing? And so people are concerned right now. And it is okay to be concerned and use common sense in these situations, right? We don't want to get caught up in anything, but we're just going to be smart about stuff, right? And so we met, and we did make some executive decisions that include canceling events here, except for Sundays, over the next few weeks. And we'll just keep reevaluating as we go along, right? And I'll tell you what triggered this conversation, besides other emails from other Unity churches, is, I recently showed up for 2 events and waited for people to come, and nobody showed up to them. And our last 2 events, we had sick people showing up. And you know what? We are a society of overachievers. We really are. We show up when we're sick. We still live a life when we're sick, right? But right now, we just want to take it easy, be kind to ourselves, be gentle, be thoughtful about this. I mean, really, the media getting involved in this has made it huge. But if they would have just kept their mouths shut, it would just be like any other spring. It would have been like any other spring, just some kind of whatever, right? But I had a few reactions to the email I sent out yesterday. And I do agree. Like, I had some people say, well, really? Should Unity Church be behaving in this way? Is it setting a good example? And so I just want to mention that we can come from common sense, and it doesn't mean we're responding in fear. I mean, here I am today, and here all of you guys are here today, right? We're all showing up still. But we just use common sense. You know how many days I come up here during the week and there's a bunch of trash in our parking lot because somebody had a little beer McDonald's picnic out there? I pick up all the trash, and then I throw it away, and then I wash my hands because it's trash, and it's just common sense. I wash my fruits and vegetables, and I told you all last week, but I'll share it again, because I was at the grocery store, and there was a little kid, one hand down the front of his pants and the other finger up his nose, and then he was fondling the fruit, okay? That's just common sense. I'm not afraid of fruit or vegetables. I just wash it. That's all, I just wash it. I take my vitamins. I know a lot of you here take your vitamins, right? Because we love doing nice things for our body. We're supporting our body. And now on occasion I take vitamins out of fear. I know what it feels like to come from fear, and sometimes I do go there. Thursday, I hadn't heard about this panic shopping that was going on until Thursday afternoon. I didn't know about it.
It's crazy.
And as soon as I heard about it, you know what I did, right? I did what we all love to do, is I did some research on the internet. I got myself so worked up. My husband walks in the door that night. Dave says, "Are you okay?" And I had to practice these principles. We're going to get caught up in stuff, and then we just realize, whoa, I got caught up. I'm going to choose again. Do I want to come from fear or faith? Do I want to come from woe or wisdom? Okay, and so that was the intention behind the email I sent yesterday. I was excited about that email. I thought it sounded really positive, offering some good suggestions. So I was really, really excited about it, and I'm sorry for anybody that it rattled. I'm sorry for that. But I will say, yesterday before the board meeting, and Thursday after I had my little freak out, the first thing I did in my prayer life was, help me see this another way. Help me see this another way. That's a Course in Miracles thing, right? Help me see this another way. And so our board meeting yesterday, it was positive, and it was proactive. There was no fear. It was just common sense in our board meeting yesterday. So we're just cutting back on some things right now. A lot of places are just cutting back. And I'm already having people tell me they're not showing up for stuff. And I honor that. There are a couple of our members who are not here today because they are dealing with a compromised immune system. And I honor them for that. And I think they're showing good common sense. right? I'm not gonna like force them to like, well, prove how much you love God. I mean, no, right? Sometimes we just use common sense, and it doesn't mean that we don't believe in these principles, right? We take care of ourselves. If we break a bone, we go get it set. Get a doctor or a hospital or something, right? I mean, if something is going on, we just use common sense and we take care of it, okay? So we call forth God within us. We call forth that God by we love what is. Okay, we're not freaking out or getting panicky. We love what is because everything is God, and we accept what is. We accept what's going on right now. Doesn't mean we have to be okay with it. We don't want to go into denial about all things. We just deny the power that things have over us. Okay, you all have denied that anything's power over you by showing up today. You're living this truth. You're living it. You showed up here. Okay, but see, when we accept what's going on, that propels us into solution mode, because when we come from a space of love, we accept what's going on. What's working through us at that moment? What's working through? It's God. It's love. It's inspiration. We become solution-oriented. And that's the purpose of this life right here, to bring our divine nature into these human experiences and live, like expand our good, right? Be the next best version of ourselves. Okay, that's what we are here for. Okay, and the healthiest thing for our immune system is to come from a space of love. Come from love. Use common sense. Realize coming from love and common sense are not mutually exclusive. They are not mutually exclusive, okay? And I am going to ask if anybody has any questions. Like, do you have any questions about this? Okay. Yes, Joe.
You say that you will be still meeting on Sundays.
Yes.
And does that include the early morning class?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it does. I'm asking people to not lick anything.
Yeah. We said we wouldn't do that.
Right? Linda got that promise out of everybody. Yes, Carrie?
What about the weekly things going on, the weekly events?
Okay, we are temporarily suspending those, and mostly because we don't have people showing up, like they have been, and I'm not going to make somebody come down here and open for an event they feel uncomfortable around. Okay, but right now we're just kind of taking a step back. There will be no Sunday school this Sunday or next Sunday either. And that was a decision made by the Sunday school teacher. So, but yeah, and we'll just reevaluate it. I mean, we may as a board get together in a couple of weeks and see that, like all of us, that things have just gone back to a typical spring here. Except now everybody has 2,000 rolls of toilet paper in their house stored up that they don't know what to do with. They build a fort with, right? Build a fort with it. Okay? And so just keep reading your email blasts. Keep checking the Facebook page. Right? I mean, we're here. We're here today. And my plan is to be here next Sunday. And I'm already picking out music for next Sunday. And I already have our color scheme for next Sunday. Okay, we're continuing. We have one more in the Rainbow series, okay? So we're supporting our community. What we're doing is we're supporting our community right here from where we are, and we're supporting them where they are. Okay, this is important. Yes, Taylor.
Sorry, I wanted to ask a question on my
Go ahead.
So I just want to make sure I understand what you said before. So would you say that when you are in a state of fear, that's more of a reaction-based state, and so there's not really a solution available because you're so caught up in the reacting?
Yes.
Whereas when you have a love-based intention, there's an interaction, and when we interact and we use each other as support, that's more solution-oriented?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it is. See, when I felt fear the other night, going down that rabbit hole, my next reaction was to find another website. Find somebody else talking about all this. Find something else. There's got to be something scarier out there, right? That's the rabbit hole I was going into. When my husband asked me if I was okay, and I realized, whoa, I am not okay. And I asked him for support. I'm like, give me good news. Give me good news, right? I'm gonna set my computer down. I'm gonna find something to read that's positive, that reminds me of these things we talk about every week. But so yeah, it's okay to reach out for support too. We're meant to be in community. We're meant to be in interaction with each other. So it's okay to reach out and support. So we serve from where we are, but we also serve the other from where they are. Right? So we're lifting each other. Right? We're not judging or, no finger pointing, none of that. We're just serving out of love from where each person is. Does that make sense? Okay. Which I really love how this you'll have to tell me later if this is a good segue or not. So today we're in part 7 of our Defying Gravity Rainbow series. So you see the color purple is kind of in evidence today. And see, we are in this body to defy gravity. And defying gravity is when we let go of the weight of our past and we are able to recognize beliefs that don't serve us, recognize when we are in fear, and choose faith, choose differently. And I have to ask you, right now, what better playground is there for us to be in than the playground we are playing in right now to learn these principles, to really practice these? I mean, we're in some surreal times right now. Surreal. And I say surreal because there are lines going out the stores. I mean, there are. Dave saw a huge line out Stater Brothers this morning, but you know what else? People are stopping to get their Starbucks first. Okay, it's okay. Right? Okay, so, yes, Carrie.
Yeah, I want to mention something I saw when I went into Aldi's yesterday. Half the food is gone. I mean, the shelves were
Yeah.
practically empty.
Well, and on a positive note, a guy at Staters told my husband, it's like, we weren't expecting this. But they will be expecting it this week, so probably for the next few weeks, there's going to be pyramids of toilet paper at every end cap of every store. We're going to feel very safe and secure seeing all that toilet paper. We are. Okay, so right now, though, this is where we are. We are defying gravity by releasing our fears around all this stuff. When we defy gravity, we become weightless because there's nothing from the pain of our past holding us back, and none of our fears are holding us back. So what happens is when we become weightless, we become time weightless. There's a shorter weight. We are created to create our experience at the speed of light. The speed of light with a capital L. Okay, that's what we're created to do. Fear and beliefs that don't serve us, it slows down the creation of the good experiences we want in our lives. So this is what defying gravity does for us. So what I've done is I've taken the Eastern mystical system of the chakra system and been going through how we develop physically from the time we were little kids. So our first chakra, the energy center at the base of our spine, this is where we feel a sense of belonging and connection within our community. The second chakra, the sacral chakra, we're learning about how we show up in relationships with our friends, with our family, with people we meet, but also how we show up in relationship to our life. We get to the third chakra, the solar plexus. Well, now we're in relationship, and so how are we showing up? By using our gifts. We're utilizing the gifts that we came into this world with. We get to our throat chakra. Okay, so now we're using our gifts, and not everybody may agree with our gifts. So now we have fortitude and courage to do the things that maybe our tribe wants to keep us from doing, right? Keep us from thinking differently. You should be working out right now and buying a whole lot of stuff, right? So we don't get caught up in the tribal panic mindset. From our heart is where we call forth fortitude and courage. Then we get to our throat chakra. This is where we surrender our will to divine will. We choose the right thing to do, not the easy thing. Then we get to our third eye. This is where we have our reasoning capabilities. We can look at how we're thinking and behaving and acting. We can recognize, whoa, this belief is not serving me. This belief has me scared and hiding in my closet. This belief is not making me feel good. This belief is keeping me from sharing my gifts. So we can reason that, and we can choose again. And so today we get to the seventh chakra, which is the crown chakra. And in the Eastern mystical system, this is our connection to our spiritual nature. It's our capacity to live as a divine being in a body, bringing our divine nature through our choices of how we show up in this world into our human experience. Okay, living a life with faith and love instead of fear. And it just keeps us in the present moment. Now the shadow of the crown chakra, I love this one. It's sloth. Sloth. Okay, that's laziness, right? Tending toward procrastination. And I have something to say about sloths here in a few minutes, but what we're talking about is spiritual sloth, or spiritual laziness. Now this can show up in our lives as wanting to have awareness of God, so we're reading the books, but we'd rather just ponder it instead of taking spiritual action. Now that spiritual action might look like committing to a meditation practice, even if that means getting up at 4:30 in the morning to have time to meditate. It means committing to paying attention to how we are showing up in our lives, and where is our thinking? Are we complaining? Are we talking fear? Like, are we trying to get everybody else afraid? What's our thinking doing? What kind of stories are we telling about what's going on in this environment, in this community right now? What kind of stories are we telling? Right? Is it a playground where we are learning? Is it a circus full of nothing but scary clowns? Okay, what are we telling ourselves? Are we choosing to go into affirmative prayer? Are we choosing to do the prayer? Are we choosing faith? Are we choosing to ask, to be humble enough to ask for help, to ask for the grace to get us through? This is what made the mystics. They were not doing anything that no one else could do, but they were humble enough to know to ask for grace. Ask for it. So there's also a form of spiritual laziness that is we spend more time imagining than we do doing. It can be kind of nice to just prefer the life in our mind because it's easy, it's safe, we can make it as big as we want to make it, and there are no consequences that we have to deal with, right? We can imagine this big life, dream it as big as we want, but we don't have to actually make any life changes. We don't have to change things around in real life. Imagine that you want to host a dinner party, but then you decide, I want to have it in my backyard in June, really close to the summer solstice, so it's light till like 8:30, and I'm going to finish my deck, and I'm going to string up those white sparkly lights, and I'm going to get Annie to help me pick out those beautiful succulents so I can decorate my yard really beautifully. And I'm going to have live music. I'm going to get somebody to play the guitar, and I'm going to invite 6 close friends, and we're going to have stimulating, tantalizing conversation. Okay, we can imagine that all we want, and it takes no work. It takes no effort, right? If we actually want to do that, the reality of all that and planning is a whole different animal, especially if you have a deck you're trying to get finished in your backyard, right? See, in your imagination, you could invite Led Zeppelin to do the music for your guests. In fact, your guests could include the Buddha, okay? Chief Joseph. Okay, your guests could include anybody. It's putting forth the effort that a lot of people don't like. We love to dream about it, but it could be a lot of work to do some of these things. Imagine if you've ever thought about quitting a job that didn't serve you. Okay, it's a lot easier to just imagine quitting than to actually plan. Okay, well, how much do I have in savings? Do I want to go job hunting first? Sometimes it's just easier to plan it all in your head without ever doing anything. Thinking about a career change, getting healthy, going back to school, writing a book. You know how many people I know who want to write a book and they've never written a book? Because what they really want is the outcome. They want the outcome. They want to get from point A, I wish I could write a book, to point B, here's my book. But there's all this stuff here that we need to do also in creating any aspect of our life. There's all this stuff between point A and point B. So Albert Einstein, he said something, and usually we see it as, he said imagination is a preview of life's coming attraction. Well, it kind of leads people to believe that, if I just imagine it, right? If I can dream it, I can do it, right? But it's a preview of life's coming attractions. We preview it here at point A, but then we've got this entire map we've got to cross. All this territory. And our territory could be from Yucaipa to San Diego, or our territory could be from Yucaipa to Maine. Okay, there's a length of territory there that we have to travel to bring it out of our imagination and into our physical life. So many people, we love the effect, we love the outcome, but the work in between is hard. I mean, think about, like if you just want to get your house cleaned. Nobody actually says, well, I want to clean my house, right? And I feel like doing it. See, this is something else we do. We think about what we should be doing, but then we don't really feel like doing it. Okay, like nobody feels like cleaning their house, although we're excited and happy when it's all done. Okay, most people probably won't feel like doing all of the exercise and bodybuilding to get the strong body. They want the strong body. Okay, having a body that's the right size body, the perfect weight body. Now I can speak from experience on this one, right? I love the idea of being in the right size body, but wow. Like I had to do so much work last year, and I'm just over halfway there. It's a lot of work. It's not the work I'm excited about doing, it's the outcome. I keep thinking, just want a magic way to happen, right? Okay, living our purpose. We may love thinking about how great our life would be living our purpose, but then the idea that we actually have to figure things out. Well, what is my purpose? And do I need to get retrained or some kind of education? And what does that mean for me? Okay, it's easier to just sit in the outcome and think about, just bask in how it would feel to actually have it. I learned something from a writer and a speaker named Mel Robbins. I only discovered her like a year ago, but she said this, and I'll say it's not, you can't say everybody feels this way, but I think the majority of us feel this way. We will never feel like it. We'll never feel like it. We know what we should do, and what our should will be based on logic or our heart or our goals. Okay, I can go home this afternoon and I may look in the bedroom and see, is there a pile of laundry? Well, if I want some clean clothes this week, I'm going to do my laundry. Do I feel like doing the laundry? Am I sitting, like right here, in my head, it's like, oh, man, I wish I was home right now doing laundry, right? I don't feel like doing laundry, but I'll do it. I don't always feel, okay, like I love doing this. This is my dream job. I wake up every day and I'm just like, bam, I am so excited about what I get to do in this world. But when it comes to actually outlining a sermon, like, well, I'd rather be watching Downton Abbey. I want to know what happens with Carson and Hughes, right? So that's my reward. But see, this is something just to think about. Sometimes we may not actually feel like doing a thing, so we just put it off. Okay, we just put it off. That's our spiritual laziness. Not doing the thing we know we should do. Okay, the thing that calls to our heart. Okay, that's a big goal for us. So this is where we can get out of doing the right thing and instead we'll do the easy thing. Right? Oh my gosh, the easy thing sometimes for me is, well, it would just be easier to eat pizza. Because it's scary right now. It's so scary outside. If I eat some pizza, I'd feel better. I'd have brilliant ideas if I just did that. Okay, no. See, I know what I call keeping my lines bright, when I stay on my food that makes me feel good in my body, I think better. I think better. Is it the easy thing to do? No. Do I want to do it? I don't feel like just eating a salad with like a tiny teaspoon of salad dressing. Right, all that lettuce. Okay? But I like how I feel after it's all done. When I'm done, I'm happy I did it. Okay? So we want to think about that. Spiritual laziness is when we only want the outcome, but we're not willing to do what's between here and there. That's really okay, this is going to sound very sad. The shadow of sloth is the shadow of tossing our life away. Okay, that's the shadow. It's tossing our life away. When heaven inspires you, when God inspires you, when Source inspires you, okay, your inner being inspires you, and you say, no, not right now. I'm too tired. I haven't finished building my toilet paper fort yet. Okay, I want the universe to do the work. I don't believe what you're saying. This is some hard stuff. This will change my life too much. Somebody in my life, it might scare them if I start growing and living my purpose. Okay? I want a guarantee. I want the guarantee. Is this really? I think if this is divine inspiration, it should lay out everything for me so I get a guarantee that everything will work out perfectly. I'll never be sad again. I'll never ever run out of toilet paper in my whole life. And I'll make a ton of money. And I'll always have so much love. Right? I want the guarantee. That actually just leads us into procrastination. That feeling of, okay, well, later. Sure, it's a great idea. I love that idea. Later on, when I have a little more energy, or I have a little more money, or I have a little more support, or all my laundry's done, then maybe then, that's when I'll start. That's when I'll start. But see, when we're in the shadow, we're putting off our good. Now, this is major league stuff. Because what are we inspired? We're inspired to do things like follow our dream and create great experiences in our life, create goals and follow through on those. But we're also divinely inspired when we go into crisis mode. Okay, we're divinely inspired when we are afraid. We're divinely inspired when we hit a bump in the road. Okay, when we're concerned about our health. That's when we're divinely inspired. And we'll receive guidance like, breathe 5 times. Just breathe 5 times through a straw. Breathe 5 times nice and deep through a straw. Cry. Go sit and cry. And if you have to listen to really sad music, right, or watch Marley and Me, cry. You need to cry. That releases toxins. Go for a walk. Get some sun on your head. Get off of the computer. Call a friend. This is also guidance. Okay, so we don't want to say no to that stuff. Meditate. Affirm. Do affirmative prayer. Ask heaven for the grace to get you through this. We are divinely inspired all the time. Our soul is not far from us. God is not far from us. It's all right here. Right? This message doesn't have to travel up to space and back. It's all right here. These are living instructions, so don't postpone those instructions. Because you do that one thing that you're guided to do, and it creates a whole new wave of energy. And then you have another thing, and then you have another thing, and life is changing for you. Okay? So here, in the shadow, we are fighting our mystical transformation is what we're actually doing. We're fighting our mystical transformation. We're fighting our ability to show up in our life, bringing our divine nature into our experience. That's what we're fighting against. So the wisdom of this chakra, the crown, the wisdom, the grace is wisdom. The grace is wisdom. Now, I just want to share a little indigenous wisdom about the sloth, because I don't know if you saw the video I shared on our Facebook page yesterday, the baby sloths. They are sweet. They are so cute. And one of them kept trying to kiss this man on his beard right there. It was like so beautiful. It was ridiculously adorable. So here's indigenous wisdom on the gifts or the medicine that a sloth brings. It's the slowest animal on earth. But it has extreme tenaciousness. Its little claws can hold it on a tree upside down 90% of the time. And it sleeps around 10 hours a day. Because there's tenacity right there. But it's also patient. It is patient. It also has a natural camouflage. It can turn the color of the tree it's in, even if it's green. Like it can turn green, because it eats so much green. Which is about accepting how life is right here and now, not struggling against life. All right? And it has an amazing flexibility. Its perception is almost 360 degrees because of how flexible its little neck is. Okay, so patience, tenacity, perception, a greater perception than just this little thing right here. It can see the big picture. And this is the gift of wisdom. Wisdom shows us the big picture. All right, so wisdom for us is when our personal spirit is in contact with the greater spirit at large. It creates like a spiritual opening for us. And then we can create our life through wisdom because of this expanded perception. We create through wisdom or we create through woe. How do you like that? So we've got faith or fear, wisdom or woe, wisdom or woe. We can look at that because both woe and fear feel terrible. They feel terrible because they're not part of our divine nature. Where faith and wisdom are part of our divine nature, so we have a deep, generous well of access to it. Wisdom guides us, will always guide us towards solutions. It gives us the capacity to recognize the nature of life. Okay, and this is what is going on right now. That life is happening right here, and wisdom helps us to accept it. Life happens fast and furiously, and life is all about change. And when we tap into wisdom, and we call forth that wisdom, we no longer feel like we have to stop these changes or make things happen differently. We stop asking the why question. Why did this have to happen? Why is all this going on? Why blah, 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 right? Why just sends us down a fear spiral? Why? Wisdom keeps us from doing that. It helps us to just go with the flow of life so that we avert struggle and we minimize bumps in the road. We're going to have bumps in the road. Ernest Holmes, the founder of Science of Mind, our Unity's cousin, he said, not every day is going to be about roses. Not every day will be rosy. There will be days that you get a thorn in your finger, but it's about pulling the thorn out and we keep going. We can get the thorn in our finger and cry about it. Why did this happen? And we can wrap it up with a ton of padding and don't come near me. I had a thorn. Don't touch my finger. But that puts us in fear. That puts us in woe. Woe to me. We pull the thorn out. Wow, I stepped on a thorn, or I got a thorn. What am I going to do about it? I'm going to wash my hands, and I'm going to take that beautiful rose and put it in a vase in my kitchen. And I'm going to tell somebody, don't grab the thorns there. There's some thorns on that rose, right? Okay, so wisdom moves us out of human logic and rationality, where we are trying to seek justice, we're trying to seek fairness, and we keep asking the question of why. And so instead, wisdom guides us into the next steps that we can take to be the next brightest version of ourselves. We can ask the question, help me see this another way. Okay, we don't have to necessarily have all the answers right away. We don't need all the answers. We just need the next thing to do. So if we know we're coming from woe because we feel bad, then we stop ourselves. Whoa, help me see this another way. Help me see this another way. And that's the invitation right there for wisdom to come through us. In the Course in Miracles, it says, every situation properly perceived becomes an opportunity to heal. Every situation. What's happening right now? Do I want to view this through wisdom or through woe? How do I want to live? How do I want to show up in my life when I leave here today? How am I showing up? Now, when we call forth the grace of wisdom, and we're really calling forth all the graces at this point, nothing in our life will ever look ordinary again. Nothing. And we will live with the truth that there's no problem that is insurmountable. God is bigger than anything in its way. Love is bigger than anything in its way. And then we're able to utilize our inner resources along with our external abilities. We start putting the best of us to work in this life. That's what we do. Put the best of us to work. Okay, so how do we use this wisdom right here and right now? First of all, we start with see all life as sacred. See all of life as sacred. Everything. God is available in every situation, every event, because God is all things. So God can show up anywhere and everywhere. Second, we practice the grace of piety, which is being devoted to this principle of seeing God as everywhere present. And we might say something like, I'm committed to seeing God as everywhere present, and I wonder how God will express itself in this situation today. How are miracles going to show up? How are these miracles going to show up? Then to understanding. That's from our solar plexus. I, too, am an expression of the divine in this world. That's me. How will God express through me today? What kind of miracle can I bring into this world today? And we go to fortitude, the heart chakra. Love is bigger than anything in its way, and I was designed to do this stuff. We were all designed to call forth the ever-expanding good, so we can do these things. Counsel, the grace of counsel, third chakra. So I surrender my will to divine will. I choose to do the right thing, not the easy thing. I'm going to focus on love. I'm going to focus on the good, and I'm going to be courageous. It's okay if I feel fear, because I have courage and fortitude to help me get past that eventually. Eventually, that level of fear will just be wiped out. I'll be so good at practicing courage. The knowledge, the grace of knowledge, as I am of service in this world, and as I express my divinity through my choices, I'm receiving divine inspiration that guides me to do even the next brightest thing. And I'm here for others. And I can share that with them. To wisdom, my soul only ever intends my good. That's the nature of God, the nature of spirit, the nature of source. It only ever intends our good. No matter what's going on out here, it is our good that is intended. It is our good that will work through us. God, the good, love, source, spirit, the creative substance of all things, it can expand more good into any situation. Any situation turns into a channel for this divine good. So we can call it into this situation. We stop battling the weight of our psyche. Stop battling that. Okay, we call forth the grace. We call forth the grace. But that's when we become a soul with stamina. And we start creating our experience at the speed of light with a capital L. And bring more light into our lives. And that's how we create heaven on earth. So until next time, remember, you are the activity of spirit in this world. Life is revitalized through you every minute. You are designed to have a body that is constantly moving toward well-being. That's what you were designed to do. You are the heart and hands of spirit in this world. You are a soul designed for growth and goodness, and to do all this stuff that we talk about. And everything you do, we are blessed. You are blessed, and so it is.
Amen.
Thank you. All right, we're going to move into some meditation now, because we're going to take this in. We're going to take it in right now. So I just ask you to just feel comfortable right now where you're sitting. Lights are going to go down for a moment. And just right at the center of your chest, imagine a golden, radiant ball of light. And a ray of this golden light shines down to the center of the planet. And it mixes with the energy, the emerald green light of Mother Earth. Mother Earth, the very first energy that greeted you on the day you were born. Now together, your gold light and this emerald green light, they shine together up through the planet, back up through your feet, and back into your heart center. And now your heart center expands. It gets even bigger than you, bigger than this room, bigger than this church, even bigger than our planet. So you find yourself floating in space, looking at our beautiful blue marble that we call home. And in that brilliant, amazing imagination of yours, silently affirm with me, I am created in the image of my Creator. My Creator is love, a cosmic force whose sweep is irresistible. Some call it God, some call it Source. Whatever I call it, it is a power that has no bounds. And the nature of this power is infinite and ever expanding. Right here and right now, its restorative and healing power is expanding through me. Its restoring and healing power is expanding and revitalizing our entire planet. And so I remember to see God in all things, in every person, every situation, every event. In all that I love, I see God. But I recognize, even when I am in fear, I can call God forth right through that. So I let go of my fears and focus on the activity of God, the miracles of God. And I bless this beautiful planet that we live on. I bless every person, knowing the activity of God is always everywhere present. I bless the healers. I bless the helpers. And I see the activity of God in all they do. I bless those who are afraid. And I see the faith of God shining in them. I am the activity of God in this world. I am. And my purpose is to expand the good. And so it is. Now we come back into this room. Feel yourself in your body. Wiggle your fingers. Wiggle your toes. Now in just a moment, we have the gift of a song from Nainoa. But I do want to just announce that next week, we're going to wrap up the Rainbow Series. So next week, you can wear all the colors of the rainbow or black and white. Okay? So that's what we're going to do next week.